Hello, my most amazing artists. Today we are going to finish our mountains, our monochromatic mountains, and just a few things. Some of you are mostly finished, but we can do some things to ours. This one was mine from last week, and you can see I could make that edge look a little bit less. It was kind of like bleeding. I could make it a little bit more crisp. And these two are very similar, so I could make this one a tiny bit darker possibly to make it look better. So remember, you were supposed to use one color. So I used this purple. That is the only color I should be using today as well. One color. All right, so you need to find the color that you used last week and do that. I'm going to show you a couple other ones. This one has a really great light value, but the medium and the dark are almost the same value. So one way that you can fix this is either make the darkest one darker, or you can get water and make the lighter one lighter. So I don't want to mark on this person's paper, but just a plain clean brush with water and kind of rub that paint around will make that a little bit lighter. This one has three really great values. I love how it's got a dark, a medium, and a light. But there are some lighter values in here. So you want your paint to be really smooth all the way across. So you can work on that. As this person might make these little areas a little bit darker, she may also want to make this area darker too. The light looks really good. It's pretty smooth. This one, I think that this could be just a tad lighter. It might be hard to make this lighter, but then the bottom could be darker. So I would do another coat of darker paint. And remember, the way that you make dark paint is more paint, less water, okay? So you will get water on your brush, and then you will roll it in the paint more and paint on top of that dark spot. All right, and then the same thing here. This darker part needs to be way darker because it's too close to the medium. All right, and on this one, these all look very similar. This is lighter over here on this side, but we need to make the dark part really dark. So when you look at your three values, make sure that you have three values that are distinct. So a light, a medium, and a dark. I think this one is probably the best of the ones I've showed you. So all of those were good, but they just might need a little bit of work or a little bit of attention. So if you're not sure on yours what you can do to make it better, let me know. You can leave the sky white if you want. I painted mine like a fourth value, but that's going to be pretty difficult. So if you need to leave the sky white, you can. Now, another way that you can do a very light value is you can start with water. So you can start by adding water and then add just, oh, I had some blue in it. Then add just a little bit of paint to your water and spread it around. Okay, I am going to try to get my edge of mine a little bit better. You can practice on your messy mat to make sure that you're not getting too dark. Now look, I should not see a line that looks darker. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take water and blend that down. Place right there doesn't want to paint. When I'm trying to get a very light value, ooh, just like he says, too dark, too dark, too dark. So get water almost immediately when that happens. And then blend it down into the mountain with water. I'm not getting any more paint because that was too dark, so I need to spread it around with water. And remember, this paper will hold lots of water. So this isn't like the paper that we normally use where you'll get a hole in your paper if you add too much water. This paper is pretty good. All right, and now I'm going to make this line a little bit better. But again, I'm getting paint on my brush, but I'm also going to get water on my brush. And I'm just going to blend that down. I can always make it darker. It's hard to get it lighter. So now that that's so dark, I'm only going to get water on my brush to blend that dark paint down. Okay, now when you are done with this, remember you want to blend it all the way in. When you're done with this, you are going to have two options. You can free draw, or you can get a half sheet of paper from me and you can create a building or a castle to put in the forefront of your mountains. Okay, and we'll have to attach this at a later date because right now your mountains will have wet paint on them. Uh-oh, I really messed that up. Okay, so see, I've got to blend that with a lot of water. And I might have to get a tissue so that when I go back to that spot, it's not wet and it's not going to do that. I'm trying to make this line a little bit more crisp. But again, My paint is way too dark right there. Okay, so just work on this, work on blending everything. If your middle section gets a little bit too dark, make your dark section darker. Okay, it's real simple to do that. It's just hard to get those crisp lines and then blend it down. All right, so that's about all I'm gonna do on this. And then I would be able to start drawing a house or a castle. I may put up some examples of castles on the board, and then that way you can look at those to draw yours. But you'll use a half sheet of paper, and you can use markers or crayons, Sharpies to create that. And then another day, we'll cut them out and glue them onto this when this paper is dry. If you don't want to do a castle, a few people told me they didn't want to do that. They just wanted their mountain paper to look like this. Then you could just free draw or play on the carpet. But I want to see your mountains, and I want to see 3 distinct values before I allow you to do that. Also, if you've used a light blue and a dark blue, that's not what we're doing. We are using one color. So if you've used 2 different colors, you may have to start over today because you should have one color and its values. All right, have fun.